So if you're curious on ways that you can actually get more drive and clarity from working with your rage instead of repressing it and denying that you have it, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Brittany Rochelle. I'm an anger alchemist teaching you how to alchemize rage to live a magnificently melanated life. And today I'm going to share with you a process that I use on a regular basis to learn how you can actually use rage as a teacher, as a mentor, and as the guiding light for an incredibly magnificently melanated and deeply meaningful life. So often we experience in our own lives, in our own cultures, families, environments, and in the larger colonial forces at work in our lives to really repress any kind of negative emotion, and especially rage. And as Black and brown women, we often don't want to get pigeonholed as being the token angry Black woman or angry brown woman, when yet we have so much to be angry about. And when we internalize these messages, as so many of us do, it often makes us even more disconnected. And then we're resentful and bitter and rage, but then denying or trying to shut down our own bitterness and our own resentment. And in my experience and in working with clients, I've learned that the more we actually listen to, embrace, and learn from our rage, it is one of the greatest teachers that we will ever have in our lives. And this is how you can get things like deeper insights, deeper drive, and a deeper knowing about yourself through listening to your own anger and your own resentments. And in this video, I'm going to show you how. So I invite you in this process and this practice to think about something that makes you incredibly angry. For me, these are pretty much any hypocritical white person who claims to be an ally of the movement or whatever kind of bullshit they're on. But for you, it can be anything, whatever gets you there. And I invite you to dive into the felt sensations of what this angry or rageful or resentful or bitterness, what this feels like in your body. So this is getting even deeper than just saying it feels bad. This is, I feel this red hot clutching tightness that's twisting in my shoulder blades, or I feel heat radiating from the base of my body up my spine and I feel like my head is on fire. Or you can have a very cool rage, a very distant, a very numb rage, even not feeling anything. That in itself is a sensation. And the more we can actually get in touch with temperature, the more this turns on and activates the deepest parts of our brain and even our brain stem. So it's incredibly powerful, number one, to get into your body, your soma, through somatic practices. And from there, really learn how to flow with and allow these experiences, these sensations to radiate throughout your body. I have another video on this, which is all about taking it into a more sexual realm of having anger orgasms, having bitterness gasms, having rage gasms. But you can even do this without blending it with self-pleasuring and just allow yourself to notice what it's like in this state. This alone is incredibly powerful because it teaches your body and your mind that you can experience and allow yourself to be with your deep resentment and your deep bitterness without being scared of what that means about you or thinking that you're going to get stuck there forever. It's amazing when you just open the door and even make it a regular practice to sit in your bitterness for 3 minutes each day. You'll be amazed at how much that actually allows these feelings or these sensations that you thought would be way too overwhelming. Oftentimes they kind of dissipate or transform even on their own. You can alchemize things without going through this whole extensive process, just by sitting with them and noticing what happens when you sit with love and kindness and compassion for yourself. And if you're not sure on how to get to that loving, compassion, gentle spaciousness with yourself and you want to work with a coach, I invite you to check out my website and set up for a free consultation with me if that feels aligned for you. Or you can get more of my videos and even my free ebook called Melanin: A Reclamation, where I share my own story and and somatic tools that are really rooted in the Black and brown experience and not given to you by teachers who often don't see your own humanity or whitewash all of the tools. So you sit with these emotions, you get curious on the sensations and allow them to flow in your body. And part 2 is to then personify your rage. I invite you to think of rage. It can be as a person, like what would this person look like? Or as an element in nature, or a place in nature, or an animal, or really any way that your rage wants to show up to you. Then you're going to kind of project that personification of rage out on a pillow or some sort of surface in front of you. I personally love using yoga blocks. That's just a vibe for me. And you actually allow yourself to talk to your own bitterness, to talk to your own resentment, and to have a conversation with it. And so this conversation can look really any kind of way. It can look like you just venting and expressing everything you feel about rage for however long you want to do that. And then you can switch places and go to the pillow in front of you or the yoga block in front of you. And in this case, you actually speak as rage and let rage talk to you or your human form. And it's even better when you can ask rage really thoughtful, insightful questions like, what are you here to teach me? And then getting still and answering as rage. And even if nothing comes up, just sitting with that question while you embody or personify your own resentment can be incredibly powerful. And if you stick with this process, you will be able to see results and get wisdom and get knowledge that you and your conscious, logical mind would never think would be possible. You can also ask your resentment or your bitterness questions like, what purpose do you serve in my life? And what would you have me to do now that I acknowledge your presence here? And the more that we can actually think about and have compassion for these parts of ourselves and even engage with them consciously and not from a place of frustration or just completely shut down, annoyed energy, the more that then they can open up and they can really guide our lives. I was inspired to even become a somatic coach and work exclusively with Black and brown women from learning from my own rage and my own resentment. Because in my experience and in so many of my clients, what you're the most rageful about teaches you what you care the most about. Somewhere in that, if you follow that line down, it really shows you that you care deeply about animal rights, or you care deeply about the Black community and seeing our success and our thriving. And then from there, it can really guide you as to what I should do now that I have this deep passion. And this can actually help you guide your own life or your own hobbies or extra time outside of work to do something that you care deeply about, which in and of itself is incredibly meaningful and gives you a level of fulfillment that for me, myself, I never even thought was possible. And I all got it from listening to and learning from rage as a mentor, rage as a teacher for my life. It's incredible what's possible. I cannot wait for you to try out this practice. Please let me know what you think, how it goes for you. And if the first time maybe you don't get too much, stick with it and you'd be amazed to understand the wisdom and the power and the knowledge and even the resilience that's there waiting for us in some of our most repressed emotions. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video.